Think of yourself. Think of your friends. Think of your family. Think of your community. In front of you, there is a river. It's long, it's wide, it's deep. You cannot cross it. And on the other side, there's the rest of us. Now, I should probably start talking about building bridges, which for those who may not know is a metaphor for building peace, relationships, understanding between different people, different cultures, different communities. Unfortunately, before we can start talking about building anything, we have to deal with the things that have already been built. Conflicts, misunderstandings, stereotypes, prejudices, histories, wars. These are all the bricks that help build the walls between us. Take, for example, ex-Yugoslav countries. I come from one of them. We are so culturally similar that we cannot help but influence one another every step of the way. Yet, because we cannot agree upon our shared history, we can never stand united again. There's clearly a wall between us, and that wall is built out of political disagreements and broken trust. Now, the question is, if there are really walls between us, why do we keep talking about building these bridges as if they were rivers? I think there are two reasons. One, if you look at the world map, you're going to see all these borders. They are typically mountains and rivers. Walls are not natural borders. So to accept that there are walls between us is to accept that we have built them ourselves. And that takes a great deal of accountability. Taking accountability for the things that we have already done and for the things that we are doing right now. So, two is because the walls that we have between us are most often not even physical. Take, for example, two people who are coming from different socioeconomic backgrounds. The wall between them is composed out of their financial differences. Even though those differences might not be obvious to naked eye, they still impact our ability to put ourselves in another person's shoes. Prejudices, especially those that we have internalized, they make us unable to see eye to eye with the person who's standing right in front of us. Of course, it's going to be easier talking about rivers and bridges when across a river you can see. You can see who is standing on the other side. You can wave, hi, hello, how are you? You know what is there. While walls, on the other hand, they leave us blind to the other side. We simply do not know what's there. And that lack of knowledge leaves you vulnerable. So some people might tell you that people on the other side are amazing. It's a really lovely community. Others might tell you that those on the other side are dangerous, are waiting for their first chance to start a war between you and your community. That's called propaganda. That's what you leave yourself vulnerable to if you don't know what's behind the wall. It's no coincidence that every time that there is a war or any form of socioeconomic instability within a country, you're going to start seeing all these posters about how amazing it is to join the military. The US did it, Italy did it, Germany did it, the Soviet Union did it, all within the same world war. So it doesn't really matter which side that propaganda is promoting. What matters is that you might end up becoming A, a liberty fighter, B, a Nazi, without even realizing it. What matters in the end is that you are left without a choice because you don't know what's behind the wall. So the easiest way to make somebody believe that what they're doing is right is just not letting them know the arguments against it. That's why in the end, the walls are not even our biggest problem anymore. It's us. We are the ones who start dividing ourselves into those who are breaking the walls and building the walls. We start dividing ourselves into those who are doing the right things and those who are, for all the right reasons, doing the wrong things. We become our own biggest obstacle. So then, you take a step back and you think back to your community. In front of you, there is no river that you have to bridge across. But there is a stone wall with barbed wire fiercely protected by those who are afraid of change. So if you want to build a relationship with people who are just over the border, if you want to make any sort of intercultural understandings, if you want world peace, I'm really sorry to tell you, but this is what we are dealing with. And it's no easy task to handle, of course. But luckily for us, most of the people who still don't see their place within this world are open to the idea that just across the wall, there's something nice. Unluckily for us, most of them, upon seeing this situation, would probably just rather go on with their lives. And they have a good argument for that as well. I mean, what are the odds that they can change anything anyways? So let's return to that World War II analogy. Remember when you were studying it for the first time and you were asking yourself, who let this happen? Remember when you were reading the news this morning or yesterday evening, I really don't know when you were reading the newspapers, and you were asking yourself, who is letting this happen? These are the people. These are the people who are letting it happen. They are not actively participating in building the walls or protecting the walls, but they are not actively participating in breaking them either. They choose to stand on the side. And after a while, their inaction starts looking awfully lot like action in support of whoever is the winning party. Contrary to them, there are those who swear that they will defend the walls until their dying breath, or break them down no matter what it takes. Both of these types of people take shapes of activists, reformists, revolutionaries, educators, your friends, and more. The difference is though that while those who are trying to protect the walls and build them up already have a clear structure to follow, it's quite an easy job for them. While those who are trying to break them down often look like they're hitting their heads against the wall, quite literally. That sounds very discouraging. Although, if you really think about it, you're going to realize that if every and each one of them is able to destroy one whole brick in their one whole lifetime, you would need less than 100 people in order to make a passage wide enough for somebody to pass through that wall. And once somebody is on the other side, that's the whole point of the wall gone. So, in the end, it might just seem like hitting your head against the wall pays off. Okay, if that's true, why isn't everybody doing it, is the question. Well, some might tell you that the difference between those who choose to hit their heads against the wall and those who don't is being realistic or unrealistic, being a coward or being a hero, being a nobody, or a natural-born change maker. I've heard this narrative many times. I've also heard that those who are meant to break walls are predestined to do great things, are brave, are strong, preferably with a heart of gold, white skin, and nail. I'm here to tell you that that is simply not true. The only difference between those who choose to break the walls and those who choose to stand on the sides is what they do with their hope. While some people are hoping for a better tomorrow, others are actively working on it. So, what determines your future in the end is whether you put your hope into action or not. Just look at people protesting in Serbia right now. There's hundreds upon thousands of them. Do you really think that each and every one of them is somehow predestined to bring change to this world? Of course not. But they are all hoping for a better future for themselves. And they are turning that hope into action. Together with many more people across the world, just look at South Korea, look at Germany, look at Slovakia, look at Bangladeshi students, farmers in France, and I can go on. They're all showing us that we do get to choose whether we make an impact or not. The shape and the amount of that impact will surely differ, depending on each individual circumstances. But in the end, we do get to choose whether we make it or not. So we have to start utilizing our hope. We have to start turning it into opinions, turning it into action and activism, turning it into a future without walls. And in order for us to start doing that, we have to ask ourselves, will we be simply hoping for the walls to start falling down? Or will we put our hope in action and make them crumble ourselves?